Aloha! This is lesson 17 from A Course in Miracles with Hope Johnson. I see no neutral things. This idea is another step in the direction of identifying cause and effect as it really operates in the world. You see no neutral things because you have no neutral thoughts. It is always the thought that comes first, despite the temptation to believe that it is the other way around. This is not the way the world thinks, but you must learn that it is the way you think. If it were not so, perception would have no cause, and would itself be the cause of reality. In view of its highly variable nature, this is hardly likely. In applying today's idea, say to yourself with eyes open, I see no neutral things because I have no neutral thoughts. Then look about you, resting your glance on each thing you note long enough to say, I do not see a neutral blank because my thoughts about blank are not neutral. For example, you might say, I do not see a neutral wall because my thoughts about walls are not neutral. I do not see a neutral body because my thoughts about bodies are not neutral. As usual, it is essential to make no distinctions between what you believe to be animate or inanimate, pleasant or unpleasant. Regardless of what you may believe, you do not see anything that is really alive or really joyous. That is because you are unaware as yet of any thought that is really true and therefore really happy. 3 or 4 specific practice periods are recommended, and no less than 3 are required for maximum benefit, even if you experience resistance. However, if you do, the length of the practice period may be reduced to less than the minute or so that is otherwise recommended. You see no neutral thoughts because you have, or you see no neutral things because you have no neutral thoughts. It's always the thought that comes first. I wanted to read that again because that's really one of the cruxes for me, is noticing that it's the thought that comes first. And there's a strong temptation to believe that it's the other way around. There's a very strong temptation to believe that your perception of the world, say you thought you saw some particular event in the world, maybe you, let's say you received a diagnosis, let's say you received a cancer diagnosis or something like that, and you believe that the thoughts, you naturally believe, because this is the way the world believes, that the thoughts, the upset thoughts that are coming to you are because and caused by a cancer diagnosis. But in truth, it was thought that was first that made you perceive a cancer diagnosis. All right? You don't see anything. And also, look, that's one example, but it's everything that you think you see. It's everybody. It's your computer. It's your car. These things are not neutral. They've been given a certain meaning by you, and they're made out of thought. So they're not neutral because what thoughts were used to make it were ego thoughts. They're not happy thoughts.
So basically, it's something that you've been cultivating from the past. So it's
Right.
making it stronger. So you're going to the doctor over and over again. So you're cultivating this cancer diagnosis through your participation and.
Well, it's not going to the doctor. That's not what it is. It's not going anywhere. It's just the way you perceive. It's the meaning that you make out of things. So it's not, it may have nothing at all to do with physical illness at all until you get a cancer diagnosis. You might have no experience with physical illness, but you've been perceiving in a way that makes you a victim. So because of that, you're listening to ego thoughts. These are not neutral thoughts. And they are telling you that the world is affecting you. This is the way you were trained as a kid, right? So as you're listening to ego thoughts, you're demanding punishment for your body. That's the demand of those thoughts. See?
Beautiful.
So the things that you're getting a perception of are already made of thoughts that demand punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now you're learning how to see differently. See? So for me, this is huge, to know that whatever I perceive, I put that into motion. It's past thoughts. I put that into motion. And the world that I perceive, until I learn of my happy thoughts, till I've known my happy thoughts, I cannot see anything happy in the world. Because I don't know my happy thoughts. Even like, let's say you meet a new person, you're like really excited about them. They look awesome, they seem awesome. You're perceiving. You set them up as a form of vengeance, and that's why all of your relationships turn into that. It might be quick, it might be a long time, but that's why all of your relationships turn to that. Until you see what's true and you can recognize your happy thoughts, and then you recognize that you can use the Word of God to paint this, to paint the meaning on this.
Mm-hmm.
Image that you perceive, bodies, whatever. You paint it with a different brush, right? Right. So it's the words that you heard from the ego that you use to make the world as it is, and now you're being shown. You're getting mind training to teach you how to recognize your happy thoughts. When you recognize your happy thoughts, then you can start to see truly, it's a true perception. Everything's happy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So.
Beautiful.
Another one down at the bottom before we go. Oh, yes. You are unaware as yet of any thought that is really true and therefore really happy. That's what I'm talking about. Before you are aware of your happy thoughts, everything in the world is a threat to you. Even when you perceive it as a benefit, it's a potential threat. Right? You don't even know what a happy thought is yet. So the practice periods, 3 or 4 specific practice periods are recommended, and no less than 3 are required for maximum benefit. I recommend doing this practice. For one thing, it's fun, right? I do not see a neutral shirt because my thoughts about shirts are not neutral. That's fun, So it's talking about what is the practice period here? A minute.
3 to 4 times.
Yeah, let's say it's a minute. I'm not sure. I don't think it even says, but as long as there's not any kind of stress or pressure, I would do it for a couple of minutes, 3 to 5 minutes or something like that. If there's, it says here, reduce. Oh, it's a minute. Okay, it could be reduced to less than the minute or so that is otherwise recommended. So they're recommending a minute. He's recommending a minute. Let's say Jesus is recommending a minute. 3 or 4 of those a day, no less than 3. Just today, I was talking with Tony about, I recommend doing the lessons. I recommend doing the practices because this is mind training. I know it's fun to listen to and stuff. I recommend taking all the meditations, doing all the practices. I'm not giving you a meditation in this one, so pay attention to where it says to meditate. It's very effective. I can vouch for that. In addition to doing the practice, doing your best at this point to apply it to everything that comes up all throughout the day equally. Don't leave anything out. Nothing gets left out. If something does get left out, just notice that you left it out on purpose, okay? And over time, you'll stop leaving things out, both in the practice periods and also in the practical application within your life.
Great advice.
Yay. Aloha.